Harry's wife. Why the bullying report was buried. Back in March 2021, it was revealed that Harry's wife had faced a bullying complaint made by one of her closest advisors during her time at Kensington Palace. Sources approached the Times because they felt that only a partial version had emerged of Harry's wife's 2 years as a working member of the royal family, and they wanted to tell their side of the story, and they were concerned about how such matters had been handled by the palace. The complaint claimed that she drove 2 personal assistants out of the household and undermined the confidence of a third staff member. It was made in October 2018 by Jason Knorf, the couple's communications secretary at the time, seemingly in an effort to get Buckingham Palace to protect staff who he claimed were coming under pressure from the Duchess. Prince Harry pleaded with Knorf not to pursue it. The Times newspaper was approached by sources who stated that they wanted to give their account of the turmoil within the royal household, from Harry's wife's arrival as Harry's girlfriend in 2017 to the couple's decision to stand down as working royals in 2020. Knorf sent an email to Simon Case, then the Duke of Cambridge's private secretary, and then the cabinet secretary, after conversations with Samantha Carruthers, the head of HR. Case then forwarded it to Carruthers, who was based at Clarence House. In his email, Knorf said Carruthers agreed with me on all counts that the situation was very serious. He added, "I remain concerned that nothing will be done." Sources say that they were concerned that nothing was done at the time to investigate the situation and nothing done since to protect staff against the possibility of bullying by a member of the royal family. Aides also insist that behind the scenes they did more to welcome Harry's wife and help her to find a role than has been publicly acknowledged. You may recall, of course, that the existence of these bullying allegations was brought forward on the eve of Harry's wife's Oprah interview. Clearly, there was an understanding of what was going to be released in this interview, and the purposes of it was an attempt, of course, to damage her credibility. The sources revealed that a febrile atmosphere existed within Kensington Palace, where Harry's wife and Harry lived alongside the Cambridges after their wedding until they split the 2 households at the beginning of 2019. Staff would on occasion be reduced to tears. One aide, anticipating a confrontation with Harry's wife, told a colleague, "I can't stop shaking." 2 senior members of staff have claimed that they were bullied by the Duchess. Another former employee told the Times they had been personally humiliated by her and claimed that 2 members of staff had been bullied. Another aide claimed it felt more like emotional cruelty and manipulation, which I guess could also be called bullying. Harry's wife has consistently denied the bullying, and that her lawyer at the time suggested that it was a calculated smear campaign against her. I've explained previously that there is highly likely to be force in these bullying allegations. Why is that? Well, Harry's wife ostensibly portrays a facade to the outside world of being this kind bananitarian that pursues empathic causes and is simply not understood by people and is the victim of unnecessary hatred, racism, and repeated criticisms of her. Nevertheless, as a narcissist, and one that has been established to be a narcissist upon plenty of evidence, we know that she has the capacity to devalue people away from the public eye. It's rare to see her devalue in public, although there have been glimpses of it. We've seen the use of the death stare, for instance, towards her mother Doria, towards Catherine, now Princess of Wales, and the refusal to kiss Harry at the basketball game. But usually her facade largely remains intact, or at least you have to look hard to see where it's wavering. But behind closed doors, a narcissist such as she will certainly devalue individuals, most notably Harry, but other secondary and tertiary sources. She'll be nasty to them, she'll shout at them, she'll belittle them, she'll invalidate them, she'll use various other manipulations against them. And therefore, because she's a narcissist, it follows that there is a good chance that she would behave in such a manner, and evidence has been put forward by not one, not two, but three people claiming that they were the victims of her bullying behaviour, which all of it creates a situation of credence to the allegations. These allegations, of course, are a threat to control because they damage her facade. They don't sit with the cultivated image of being a kind person. Many people believe these allegations because they see the way that she has behaved. It's also typical of a narcissist when facing this threat to control to turn it around and suggest, I didn't do any bullying, you're bullying me, you're smearing me with these allegations, and of course play the victim. Thus, that is the nature of the allegations, which had considerable potential to cause a problem to Harry's wife. And the report that arose after a thorough investigation, I think by a law firm, ended up being buried on the grounds of confidentiality. However, GB News reports about the real reason why the bullying allegations and forthcoming report were buried. The royal family, according to Jack Walters of GB News, has buried bullying claims levied against Harry's wife in an attempt to keep the peace with Prince Harry, an expert has claimed. Valentine Lowe, the Times royal correspondent, relayed the decision in an updated paperback version of his book, Courtiers. Writing for the broadsheet, Lowe claimed, the palace said it would not be releasing the outcome of the inquiry or even revealing what lessons had been learned on the grounds of confidentiality. But most people suspected that the real reason they were burying the report was to try to keep the peace with Harry and Harry's wife. Buckingham Palace confirmed it had conducted an investigation into the handling of allegations of bullying in June 2022. But the firm has decided not to publish the probe's conclusions in order to preserve the confidentiality of those subject to the investigation. The Duchess of Sussex has vehemently denied the accusations made against her. Accordingly, the outcome wasn't released, presumably because it demonstrated that she had bullied people and it was felt too incendiary for the purposes of release. However, given the way that the Sussexes have since behaved, the repeated potshots that they've taken at the royal family, the fact that it was buried also means that it can be unearthed once again. And there is the potential risk for Harry's wife that at some juncture the disclosure of the report will be sanctioned and its contents made public to demonstrate how she behaved. It wouldn't come as a surprise to many people that there would be a finding that she had bullied people. In fact, that must only be the conclusion of the report. Otherwise, why keep it quiet? If she was exonerated, they would have said such, because that would maintain the peace. The fact is, this report clearly damns her, and the royal family at the time recognised that that would be problematic, given the shaky nature of relations between them and particularly Prince Harry. I suspect, however, that the king at some point will see that because Harry's wife's behaviour has gone beyond the pale, that there will be a suitable opportunity to utilise this. I would anticipate most likely in the context of divorce and child custody proceedings that will inevitably take place between Harry and his wife to demonstrate the character of the woman for the purposes of protecting Prince Harry. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.